talk about the Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance, that often referred to as the golden age of African American culture. This little Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington in the back. But the Harlem Renaissance was between 1910 and the 1930s. Like I said, the golden age of African American culture. So much came from that, whether ownership, music that's you listening to now, or just so many leaders, artists, novelists, writers. So I learned about the existence of it. It was in northern Manhattan, and it was a neighborhood that was overdeveloped. So the neighborhood was developed for white people. It wasn't supposed to have black people in there, but they overdeveloped the neighborhood. So then a neighboring neighborhood where black people were started to spill over. Because when they overdeveloped, so once they overdeveloped the neighborhood in Manhattan, they didn't have nobody to stay there. So at that point, they didn't built it. They don't care. They just all they care about is money, right? So whoever could move in there, that's how black people started moving into the neighborhood of northern Manhattan. And then also a part of the population growth was natural disasters in the South. So natural disasters in the South happened in the early 1900s, and that put a lot of blacks and crop shares out of work and out of business, because the blacks was the one who built this country, like I told y'all. But they was out there, they was collecting the stuff, they were bringing it back in, and like there were no factories. So there were factories in the north. So once the natural disasters happened, the bosses up north said, oh, okay, I can come get some of these workers down here and kind of flaunt this to them. You ain't got to work outside. Look, you work in the factory, you do this, boom, 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 boom. So then that's when, and you make 3 times more working in the shop up north. So that's easy. I'm out. You'll never catch me outside again. But so that's how it grew a lot. The population grew. I was going to say something else about the factories that I learned, but it was, I don't want to lie to y'all about how many people it was, but it was quite a few people that migrated. And then so that was the invention of a bunch of things, starting with jazz. That's when jazz was popularized. You got artists like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Bessie Smith, and then you had so many literature works of literature and poetic writers. Jesse Redmond Fawcett, Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston. You had leaders like Charles Spurgeon Johnson, W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington. It was so much that came out of this era in this small community. And it just made me think how they just took control. They took advantage of opportunity. They took control, and it kind of reminds me of hip hop. So this was the part that stuck out the most to me: the Cotton Club, right? So I knew something about the Harlem Renaissance, but I for sure heard of the Cotton Club before. I definitely heard of the Cotton Club. I definitely seen the Cotton Club kind of be depicted, but I didn't realize. So basically, when jazz was all the rave, white people just wanted to get their hands on it. They wanted to dance. They wanted to, you know what I'm saying? They wanted to see it. So then clubs was created. They was playing jazz, you know what I'm saying? It was lit. But then the white people said, I want to listen to the jazz from the black people because they dope. But I don't know if I necessarily want to be in the same spot as them. So we were good enough and talented. So people started building spots for that, right? At first it was the spots. Hey, you come in. If you like jazz, you're a fan of jazz, pay at the door. Come have a good time. But now, once the white people didn't want to, I like it, but I don't want to be around black people. So people start developing a market for that because it's money. Can't blame them. But that's what the Cotton Club was. The Cotton Club was, you can come in the back, though, if you performing, nigga. But you can't come in the front, though. Even if you working, you got to come in the back, though. Walk through the kitchen. So it's the hottest genre in America. They was paying top dollar, whatever. It was packed every night. The hottest genre in America, fueled by blacks, but they can't even enjoy it in the hottest spot. And that saddened me, but it kind of made me think about like hip hop. And I can't stop talking about our influence. It's probably gonna be almost every episode, but it made me think about hip hop. Like, listen, y'all don't understand how. So I'm a sports fanatic, right? I've been watching sports since I was 2 years old. And I just remember going to commercial break, pregame, whatever. When it's on NBC, ABC, they went out with a rock song. Da dun da dun da dun da dun dun. Bulls up by 2, headed to the break. Now it's all hip hop. It's all hip hop. Jeezy, Ross, Nipsey, Cole. It don't matter. Whatever the newest hip hop is. You know why? Because it's running the world and has the most money. So we have the power. We can't let them steal hip hop. And I mean like steal the power of hip hop. They listen, they want to be fans, they can be fans. But they were fans of jazz. And then not only did they steal the clubs, they started ripping them off on contracts and I don't have to tell you about Elvis and what he did. So we can't let them steal hip hop. Because we are still hip hop. And I don't want that to get lost. We're still hip hop. Hip hop is just as much as us as our skin, to be honest. Because the way that they used to look at hip hop and who was associated with hip hop, I don't want that to get lost. Some stuff like I say nigga. I'm that person. I don't want some stuff to get lost. You can't call me nigga, but I say nigga. When my dad said nigga, it was a term of endearment, or it was a term, or even in business, whatever the case was. But everybody know a Jerome Batson, nigga. My dad would call my mom nigga. like it was just a regular word, but I feel like that word, and I don't want to get too much into it, but we freaked it so much and turned it into a term of endearment where now it's like that word got a lot of power. I know people say it in a negative kind of tone, but it's kind of like, all right, it was something derogatory that y'all made up for us. We stole it, and now you can't say it. I dare you say it. I punch you in the face. I dare you. Something about, hey, we ain't got much, but we got that. And it's a flip side to that. Email me. I argue about that. But we are so powerful, so innovative, so just our qualities and talents are just vast, and everybody wants them. And that's not to say that other races don't have talents, because that's not what I'm saying. I have pride in my race, but I'm not a racist. I'm not a big. I don't even know if I can be any of that. But other races got talent too. A lot of other races have talent in a lot of other areas. Yeah, whatever the case may be. But I'm talking about my race. I'm talking about my culture. And we got so much to give, but now let's be smart enough to give it but not give it away. Right? And remember, so listen, I always want y'all to go back, and I'm just gonna say the names one more time, right? Choose whoever you want to. But the next time you on the gram, and you're not doing nothing, hey, or you bored, look up one of these people, man. Let's start with musicians. Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Bessie Smith. Who did I say? For writers, Jesse Redmond Fawcett, who was kind of a disciple of Langston Hughes, and then Zora Neale Hurston. Charles Spurgeon Johnson, he was an investor, and then W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Look up one of them. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. And all the things and all the advancements they make and just how much they differ too. It's just not like all black leaders are the same. Do not just all one nigga. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, totally different. They fought for a lot of the same stuff, but totally different. So go back and see if y'all can learn anything from any of those